Drew and Matt, and we're looking at some mysteries across Europe. There's been quite a lot, actually. There's been disappearances, been UAP, there's been Vatican mysteries. I mean, the old Vatican thing's a mystery to me. I'd love to go down to the archives, you know, and see the Holy Grail. Junior! Is the whole... I can't do Sean Connery. Anyway, let's take a look at some mysteries.
Oggetto volante non identificato, or OVNI. Now we all know how to say UFO in Italian. And
Of course we do.
after you see this next video, you'll never need reminding. It's January 9th, 2017, and we're in the heel of the Italian boot. At 7:38 p.m., Lucio Margiotta, a teacher at the Music Academy of Salento, records something strange in the sky.
Mena, guarda tu cellulare che sto fermo.
A glowing orb appears to bob in the sky. Then it slowly expands into an elongated cigar-like shape
Si sta aprendo?
and continues to expand until it forms a circular donut.
Oh mio Dio, signore.
The light phases or shifts from a greenish hue to white. Then the light reverts back
Is that somebody smoking a really large cigar?
to its original
Not blowing one of them like...
before fading away.
I know, being stupid.
No, guarda, mo adesso si è fatta di nuovo.
When we look to the skies, there are certain things that we expect to see there. A really bright star, a drone, a satellite, a meteor. What we're seeing in this video doesn't look like any of those things.
Lucio's video is just the latest in a millennia of strange sights over Italy.
What year did he say this was? 2017?
Roman myth is rife
Am I getting that from somewhere? I can't remember what year he said now.
with the gods behaving in strange ways that would often resemble odd lights in the sky.
The Roman historian Livy wrote of phantom ships seen gleaming in the sky.
Was that not a smudge?
Classical
That's not a smudge?
paintings depict what appear to be flying saucers.
No, they're clouds. They're clouds.
And it didn't stop in the Renaissance.
In October 1954, UFOs actually stopped a football game in Italy.
That's because football, right? If that was the Premier League, they'd be like, sorry, I don't care if you're interdimensional, I don't care if you're from the Pleiades, I don't care if you're from the Andromeda Galaxy, right? You're not getting free football. You got to pay a subscription. Don't care where you come from. Stop the game, stop the game. No, you're not watching. Not watching for free.
10,000 people
Robbing bastards.
witnessed some strange ships up in the sky.
Then in December of 1978, the New York Times reported a rash of donut-shaped objects spotted in the skies over Italy. So we have a wide variety of Italian OVNI, and there are other accounts like this one from Oregon of lights undergoing shape and color shifts like the one Lucio reported. So what exactly is happening in the Italian skies?
I don't know, but I wish they'd get better cameras. I really do.
We've seen mystery rings in the sky before, but
Yeah, but I think they're caused by nearby factories. I think, yeah, someone proved that a nearby factory caused... It was either that one or a particular one that looks like
those
it.
turned out to be emissions from nearby smokestacks. They didn't emit any light. So let's turn to our expert in all things weather-related, Deanna Hintz.
The weather was pretty calm with only scattered clouds, so there wasn't anything really happening during this particular time to suggest any kind of electrical activity from, say, a thunderstorm or something like that.
How would a thunderstorm cause that? Now, I'm all for, like, strange weather phenomena, but come on.
Hintz considers if it could be related to rings that form around the sun called halos and sundogs.
No.
There are similar ones around the moon.
Light passing from either the sun or the moon is bent and refracted by ice crystals that are very high up in the atmosphere. And you will see a sometimes brilliant halo around that light source.
Yeah, but, I mean, I don't know why they chuck out a couple of oh, is it of this? When they know full well that it's nothing like it.
Some look almost like UFOs, with one big difference.
But you would
That's
see
one big difference being that it's the moon or the sun.
the source of the light either be the sun or the moon in the center of that halo, whereas here in this video, that center light source is blocked.
Astronomer
And it didn't start out as a circle, did it?
and video effects designer Mark D'Antonio notes that Lucio is zoomed into his camera's maximum magnification,
How does Casper Sight put it? Maximum magnification, please.
which can exaggerate
But I don't think even just, I don't know.
any distortions in the image.
It was shot with a cell phone camera.
Yeah. A Nokia 86210, whatever it was
It's
called.
just not that good at taking nighttime photographs. The camera itself may have some junk on the lens. See, as it goes in and out of focus, okay, it's almost like there's moisture on the lens, and he's just getting some video artifacts. I mean, if there's any kind of moisture on the lens, you can actually create some really kaleidoscopic objects from your camera.
But while D'Antonio says that lens issue might create the circle image and the phasing, he still can't pinpoint the original source of that light in the sky. He rules out a laser or spotlight because they would have to reflect off the clouds. And it was a clear night. Beyond that, he's stumped.
It was a clear black night, cool white moon, while Jews on the streets trying to consume the skirts for. Sorry.
I'm not saying that it's not an actual unidentified flying object. So it's a mystery. We don't know what it is exactly.
I don't know. It does look weird.
There's currently no official explanation for this video from the Italian government.
But you can also say that there's nothing to indicate that he was actually filming the sky there. It was pitch black. You couldn't tell that he was filming the night sky.
If the light came from a drone, a plane, or a helicopter, you would think they would have said so. So our verdict, a genuine ovni. And in the absence of any further evidence, this object remains unidentified. We take you back to 1971, the village of Belmez in Andalusia, Spain. Local resident Maria Gomez Camara discovers a strange discoloration on her concrete kitchen floor. Oddly, after a few days, it changes and forms what appears to be a face.
No. 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 Oh.
She tried.
Yeah, come on, pareidolia. You see faces and images in all sorts. All I would say is clean your pissing floor.
Tries to scrub it away to no avail, so her husband then tears up the floor and re-cements it. But a week later, the face reappears in the floor, followed by several more.
Right, okay. Willing to shut up. If that was the face that appeared after you'd basically reconcreted the floor, I would be shitting bricks.
A number of times they've taken up the floor, they've tried to get rid of them, but the faces just keep coming back.
Word quickly spreads about the phenomenon in Belmez.
Why is that the same floor?
There's been a number of investigations and attempts at analysis of the site, and none of them have come up with any evidence of paint or tampering that would lead to a concrete explanation for the existence of the faces.
Even stranger, while researchers were examining the site, a number of long-expired human remains were found buried underneath the house, unbeknownst to the family.
How long have they been there? You know, husband reconcreting the floor.
I was able to verify that there was a late 1800 cemetery in that location. It likely...
Sorry, keep mentioning Casper Sight because he's a goat. Go and check him out, subscribe and do the thing. Sorry. But yeah, it was built on a graveyard.
It was a Catholic cemetery that was long forgotten, and when they needed room to build homes, they just went ahead and built a home over it without realizing that the headstones had been removed.
A lot of the people that visited the Belmez Faces thought that the bodies or the spirits or the souls beneath the home were showing themselves through these faces in the floor.
That is weird. That is really weird. You know what I would really love? Independent investigators to come in, rip the floor up, reconcrete it, and sit there with cameras for however long it took to see if the faces come back.
The family has always insisted this was not a hoax. They weren't hand-drawing the faces on their own floor. And though the mother Maria died in 2004, the image continues to draw visitors to the house to this day. But what are they really looking at? Our experts face off.
Oh.
First, perhaps this could all have been another example of pareidolia, the tendency of humans to see familiar shapes within randomly occurring patterns.
I would say yes for the first one, where I'm like, yeah, there's nothing to that. But then when I saw the other images, I thought, that's not just a random pattern.
But Andrew McCarthy isn't so sure.
Some say that these images could be an accident. Maybe they simply spilled something on the floor which stained it and it resembled a face. Then why does the face keep reappearing time and time again? That seems to rule out a coincidence.
What annoys me is they've showed about 6 different faces there. Are they all from the same floor? Is it just that?
Catholic miracle researcher Michael O'Neill says that while this resembles some confirmed miracles, it can't be classified as such.
There's a case in the 1700s in Austria called Our Lady of Absam. Began to manifest the face of the Virgin Mary. The glass was wiped clean with acid, and the image came back, according to the investigator. And as a result, they declared it to be miraculous. We don't have the same situation now. We don't see in real time the image returning, so it cannot be established as miraculous.
A chemical
Yeah, I suppose you need independent verification.
engineering firm in Spain that analyzed the Belmez Faces in 2014 told us their tests using infrared scanning and electron microscopes did not find any traces of inorganic materials like paint where the images appeared. But Mick West thinks it's very possible the faces weren't painted on, but instead created with another technique.
It seems almost like they're removing areas rather than adding to the areas. It's very dark around the outside of the face and then it's white in the middle. So it could just simply be that they've added something like bleach, but then would eventually evaporate and you wouldn't really see any residue of that.
That's possible. That is possible. Like I said, an independent investigator would have to rip the floor up and see it again.
Mick makes an interesting case for bleach, but the most recent testing did not detect bleach or paint. So our verdict, these strange faces remain an unexplained
Just rip the floor up then.
phenomenon until we get more concrete proof.
The master of puns.
March 2021, the Fagradalsfjall volcano in Iceland ends a nearly 900-year dormancy with an explosive blast.
I remember watching that. There was a webcam that you could watch. And I watched it for about 10 minutes, and then you realise how slow volcanoes really do sort of explode. Not explode, but they wake up gradually, and I thought, interesting.
It's beautiful, but
it was interesting. It's just you couldn't sit there watching that all day.
what's really eye-catching is this. A live feed camera set up to observe the eruption captures what appears to be 2 mysterious blue orbs hovering in the plume of smoke above the lava. Both seem unfazed by the heat and toxic gases. And when we zoom into one, we can see just how blue it is. There are roughly 50 volcanic eruptions going on at any time around the world, and many include strange lights and flying objects like these. At Arenal Volcano in Costa Rica, and this incident in Puebla, Mexico, near the volcano called Popocatépetl.
I love these names. They're bugs, right? I remember I'm going to do a video on that. There was like rod sightings just like that, caught on camera. But the theory was that because the movie's so fast and they've got like sort of flapping motions, that they're actually bugs closer to the camera.
In fact, sightings near volcanoes are so common, filmmaker Darcy Weir produced a documentary called Volcanic UFO Mysteries about the phenomenon.
We have so much documented evidence of UFOs around the volcanoes. It's possible that they may be energy events that could be offering a fueling supply to some of the UFO craft.
Where the hell do you get that from? Could be a refueling for the craft. I mean, you could say we have no idea why we see so many UFOs near volcanoes, but you can't make the leap of they are energy, petrol stations, basically. The petrol stations, the UFOs. Now to think of it, the pyramids are shaped like volcanoes. They are energy platforms for UFOs.
Just one volcano can produce more power than the combined nuclear arsenals of the United States, China, and Russia. So UFOs could use the heat from a lava to store and produce energy. Or another theory, volcanoes provide access to a network of underground alien bases all over the world.
Some people believe, well, if you build a base in a place that's very dangerous for people to visit, mankind that is, well, that's a perfect defense and no-go area.
This goes back at least as far as 1947. Aviator Kenneth Arnold was flying over Mount Rainier, a dormant stratovolcano, and he claimed he saw a string of flying saucers. He's credited with coining that term. So why are UFOs attracted to volcanoes? And what exactly are we seeing in this video?
Could it not be ball lightning in most cases? You know, high static charge in the atmosphere around volcanic activity.
Let's ask our experts. Let's consider the earthly explanations. First, could these be drones trying to record the eruption?
Geologists studying volcanic eruptions will use drones that remotely transmit video back for scientific reasons.
The temperature of lava spewing from a volcanic vent can reach 2,200 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to melt most earthly metals. For a drone, that would be a short one-way trip.
I think someone did fly a drone into a volcano. They wanted to capture the perfect shot, and they got close and they got closer, and eventually sort of died. But it was a good shot.
But these orbs were visible for at least 30 minutes, far longer than drones could take the heat. And when we look at the volcano in daylight, a whole new set of theories arises. It's surrounded by hills, so maybe the orbs aren't actually in the air. They're on hillsides on the far side of the volcano. Could they be tourists or scientists with flashlights standing nearby to study the lava flow?
Where the temperature around you could approach 500 degrees just in the air around you, where a piece of paper that you put down on the ground will instantly light up on fire and flash to flame immediately. It's very hot. It's not a place for humans. They could not be flashlights, in my view.
So maybe
helicopters?
The answer is that the orbs spewed from the volcano itself and landed on the surrounding hills. D'Antonio notes their strange color.
You can have what has been termed as blue lava. It's actually sulfur that's burning. And burning sulfur burns blue.
Also known by the Indonesian term api biru, blue lava usually burns along the ground and not in the air, and it's
quite pretty. Sure, you don't want to be breathing it in like.
Not often seen in Iceland. Looking close, the stationary orbs do appear to be flatter on the bottom, suggesting they may actually be sitting on a surrounding slope.
It's a very rare phenomenon, but it does happen. And I think that we're actually witnessing blue lava here as well. I think that it's fascinating.
So we know blue lava is rare in Iceland, but that's going to be our verdict, at least.
No, it can't be. Oh, God, that really annoys me. You could say, you know what, it's possible it could be, but you can't say that's going to be our verdict, it's blue lava.
For now. Still, that doesn't explain all those UFO sightings around volcanoes the world over.
It's all blue lava now, then.
Darcy Weir continues to investigate the subject, and we will too. It's May 2020 in Calahorra, Spain. A local man named Juan Carlos Gil Lopez is walking through a nearby park on a bright spring day. Suddenly, he sees something so utterly mind-bending, he immediately has to film it to make sure he's not hallucinating. A line of fire is moving steadily across the ground. As it burns, it leaves behind green, undamaged grass.
It burns, burns, burns.
Fire reaches benches and eventually trees, but none of that seems to burn.
A ring of fire.
Understandably stunned.
Yo no recuerdo.
I've seen something like this before. Yeah, that white stuff on top of the grass. You set fire to it and it sort of just has that effect.
Una cosa parecida a esta en esta zona. Entonces, pues bueno, fue bastante chocante y bastante impactante.
And I think it was done on purpose.
El ver, pues cómo avanzaba el fuego y pues eso, cómo ardía.
Humans are naturally fascinated by fire. It's an evolutionary survival mechanism developed to make us aware of these dangers from out of the womb. So there's a reason we're mesmerized by images like this Texas tree burning from inside and this downright devilish fire tornado seen in the UK in 2018.
We don't get tornadoes in this country often.
Is what Juan captured a similar freak of nature, or was it planned? The U.S. government regularly starts fires on purpose. These so-called controlled burns are meant to protect communities, restore habitats, and even control pests. Maybe that's what's going on here. In the U.S., 6.4 million acres were subject to controlled burns in 2017 alone. Is the Spanish government doing something similar here?
It's not the same though, is it? In a park.
Maybe it's just another video hoax. In case of emergency, break class and call in the experts. First, video forensics expert Michael Primo runs a test to make sure this isn't actually digital manipulation.
When we were assessing the digital integrity of the file itself, there was a signature that came up using our forensic tool called MEDX that has the ability to make changes to a file.
While that sounds like a red flag, Primo digs deeper.
Although this tool can make changes to a file, we didn't detect any evidence that this fire was created unnaturally in the video, and no evidence to support that this was CGI.
We turn to atmosphere.
I think it's done on purpose because I can't remember what causes the layer on top of the grass.
Scientist Dr. Deanna Hens to find out if conditions in this region of Spain would sustain a fire like this.
Well, I looked at the climate conditions around the time that this video was filmed. In this particular region, it was actually quite wet. There was plenty of moisture in the environment through rainfall that could account for why everything was so green and lush. And because the fire is moving very quickly, that doesn't really leave a lot of time for the objects around it to dry out and then catch on fire.
That explains why the grass and trees and benches don't ignite. But how would such a strangely shaped fire form in the first place? Our all-star physicist Michio Kaku shed some light on the matter.
We don't have that much direct experience with large fires. And if you did, you would realize flames go in the direction where you have lots of oxygen, lots of tinder, and lots of surface area.
Come on! You're flogging a dead horse with this one. I bet it's some really simple explanation. It's the shit that's lying on top of the grass. To get rid of it, the easiest way is to set fire to it.
Kako explains that the white discoloration in the grass in the front of the flames is actually the fluffy seeds of the poplar trees around the park. That's what is actually catching fire and why the narrow flame is moving so fast.
Notice here that the poplars are burning because that's where you have maximum surface area. The first things to burn will be those places where we have maximum surface area.
In fact, the same principle that causes these poplar seeds to burn so quickly also applies in your own home.
That's why a newspaper burns very fast, while a log in a fireplace will take a lot of time for it to heat up, because a newspaper, for a given weight, has a maximum amount of surface area.
Poplar seeds.
So, our verdict. While this mesmerizing fire appears to act mysteriously and contrary to nature, its bizarre behavior is actually an idiosyncrasy of environment and physics. Officials at this park believe the fire was started unintentionally from a cigarette or other stray spark. It's on everybody's top 5 list of legendary creatures, the Loch Ness Monster. Sightings date
It's a fake
back to the 6th century. And just when you think the creature and the legend may have died down, some new eyewitness accounts pop up to remind you the story is still very much alive.
Unlike the Loch Ness Monster.
This is Loch Ness, a mist-shrouded lake in the Scottish Highlands.
I've never heard that name before.
Its waters a murky, black ink, dark enough to hide one of the most iconic and elusive beasts of all time.
I thought I'd seen it all in Loch Ness, but this is just something I've seen that I can't explain, so.
It's July 2020. Firefighter and lifelong Loch Ness resident Ross McCauley is overlooking the water from the shore when he records this.
It's 12 feet long, about 4 feet wide, grey in colour. It seemed to be moving into the waves against
You'd have to be really good to know that it's 12 feet long.
the wind, occasionally breaking the surface.
Take another look. The image is hard to see, so let's zoom in, slow it down, and outline the figure in the water. And Ross's sighting isn't the
Could be a giant log, to be honest.
only recent one of its kind. In September 2019, Stephen Chalice is on vacation when he snaps this unbelievable photo.
I'm guessing that what I saw was 8 foot long, but there might have been a bit more either end of that underneath the water, so you could be
Looks like a catfish.
talking about a fish that was 10, 12 feet long.
Whatever this is, it's massive.
Field researcher Ken Gerhardt
That's what she says.
is one of the world's foremost experts on mysterious creatures and is writing a book on Loch Ness. He has spoken to hundreds of eyewitnesses who swear Nessie exists.
The descriptions are very consistent, and this leads me to believe that, yes, in fact, there is a population of remarkable, immense animals in Loch Ness.
Yeah, the witness account is consistent. Oh, look, there's something in the water. What is it? No idea. There you go. That's consistency.
So are these just big fish stories or something more? We turn these amazing images over to our team of analysts to see if they would hold up under scrutiny. Our marine biologist, Dr. Shay Conger, begins her evaluation with the photos taken by Stephen Chalice. Could we be looking at some kind of fish?
Yes.
Conger says no.
It's emerging.
I'm surprised. Why she said no.
Pretty prominently from the water, and you don't see any protruding fins.
Conger concludes that it must be some sort of massive marine mammal. But upon closer examination, she notices something else that seems a bit fishy.
When I look at this image, I see a couple of red flags. If an object or animal is submerged in water, we would see a series of eddies and ripples around the entirety of this animal, extending out pretty far. Instead, what we see are a series of regular waves surrounding this animal and a small trailing wake behind it.
Based on those suspicions, we turn the photos over to our forensic video analyst, Michael Primo.
So either it was put in after the fact, or it's some form of submersible, a remote-controlled hoax.
Formed what's called a smart report of the digital image that was provided, and it reported inconsistencies with the digital information. So in layman's terms, the picture of the alleged Loch Ness Monster is not an authentic image.
But what about the McCauley video?
I really love it when they find out that it was faked, but the original people actually went on to say, oh yeah, well, we stood there and we took this video and this is what it is. It's like, you'll be caught out, you lying bunch of bastards.
We have no reason to believe it's a hoax.
It's a pretty calm day, which means that whatever's on the surface of the water is not a wave or other associated item. I can say that there is probably a large object here.
So what is it? Conger says she can also rule out a log or any other inanimate object, but she...
Oh, can you?
A recent study utilizing eDNA was able to identify that there are, in fact, eel species within this lake. It's possible that some of these species could be large. However, they are, as of yet, undefined.
Ugly-looking bastards, aren't they?
So we have a split decision this time. The unbelievable photos of the Loch Ness Monster are exactly that, unbelievable. The wave motion of the wake was the decider. As for the video, we think it's real, and we think it's an eel. Still, sociobiologists believe that because of our history as a prey species, humans will always be fascinated by stories of animals big enough to eat us.
Some interesting ones in there. I'm never sold on the Loch Ness Monster. They're always like shit grainy videos from a million miles away. And it's like, oh, look at that. What is it? It's a Loch Ness Monster. No, it's not. Until someone brings me a carcass. Bring me a carcass and put forth before me. Just like Bigfoot. If someone brings me a dead body or bones, skeleton, and says, here it is, and it's real, or even a live specimen, then no, I'm not sold. The old cryptid thing, not sold on it. Anyway, you take care, and I will see you on the next one. Cheers.